Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Broken Sword.
Hello, guys.
So, first live stream with this new setup. We are hoping it works well. If there's any technical issues, please let us know as soon as possible. Hopefully, you can hear us, because if you can't, then you can't let us know.
That is true. I'm sure people will figure it out.
Yes. This is a similar setup we'll be using for when we get to watch parties for the Rings of Power.
Yes.
Now, the camera is quite high, so if we're looking down a lot, it will be because we're looking at the comments. So hopefully this works out. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, although we do also have a new computer for the setup coming soon that hopefully will fix a couple of these things, but yeah, we're figuring them out as we go along.
We are. So, as you can see by the topic of the video, the thumbnail, and this cool little scroll bar that's going on the bottom, who is the mysterious stranger is the topic of today's video.
Yes.
There have been lots of theories floating around the internet regarding the identity of this stranger. I think today's objective is to go through those theories, talk about the likelihood of them, discuss them with you guys, see if we can come up with any more theories, and kind of clarify the possibilities of each of them, and also give our thoughts on if they were to be true.
Yes. I think an interesting place to maybe start with this is, has your opinion changed pre-show to after seeing the first two episodes?
Of his identity?
Yes.
No. That's a really good question, actually. But no, I don't think it has.
See, I've been so dead certain on my thoughts of this, and now I'm still pretty sure that I'm sticking with what I thought, but I can understand more now why people are starting to believe other things, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yes, before we get too deep, any comments to
Yeah, so obviously, while discussing this stuff amongst ourselves and with you guys, we will delve in and out of the comments. Because of the nature of how we're doing this, obviously, we're going to miss a turn, so I apologize. We'll try our best. We wouldn't be able to miss any super chats. They are highlighted for us, our end, so hopefully that's good. We've got some regulars in here already. JP Rocha, what's good? How's it going, my friend?
Also, let us know, do you like the setup for just a standard video? Obviously, this isn't going to be like a hour and a half live stream to just generally chat about stuff. You know, we've got our topic, we've got our theory we want to go through. Do you like this as a video? Let us know.
Ranger of the North, Michael Varnon, guys, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for tuning in to 2 live streams today, one on the Batcave and one here. So Alex asks, how do I get a Ride of the Rohirrim shirt? You can't get them from us anymore, sadly.
No.
But I'm sure there's somewhere on the internet that does something similar. Rogue198, love your content. Want more Tabletop Alliance content on topic. Hope it's not, but suspect it's Gandalf. Okay. We'll get to Gandalf in a minute. As for the Tabletop Alliance, we have filmed content. We've been using another editor to edit some of the content to kind of help us with the workload. And we are very fast editors compared to most. Let's just put it that way. Okay. We'll jump back into the comments in a bit. Let's get back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
So, oh God, multitasking.
So yes, the stranger, he's actually been a very important part. I was wondering pre-show if it was going to be maybe saving him for a bit later when they were teasing us of something that wasn't going to be so central straight away, like kind of throwing us off the lead of some things. But he has been quite important.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't appear, he didn't land until the end of the first episode, but he was very central in episode 2.
He was. I guess the easiest way to go into this would be to start by talking about the most obvious of the theories.
Yes, the one that people seem to be the most certain of being the case.
Yes.
Gandalf.
Yeah. I'm going to get my thoughts out of the way with this early. I really hope that Gandalf is not the answer.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And this is one that I said from before the show came out. I was really certain I did not want this to be Gandalf. It felt like a massive law break for it to be Gandalf. And someone's just come to the door, so I will leave you with Jake for a moment. Apologies.
James was mid-sentence. I don't know what you were saying. Yeah, I guess James was saying something along the lines of everyone thinks it's Gandalf. But the thing is, and I think this is what it comes down to, most people are thinking it's Gandalf, but the problem is, I think there are so many hints towards this stranger being Gandalf that it's almost too obvious. Who was it, James?
Someone using the gym.
Oh, okay. Do we know who?
No.
Oh, someone using the gym.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Yes, I was talking about how it's almost, there's a lot of hints about it being Gandalf, that it's almost like, I think they're trying to throw us off the trail, if that makes sense.
It's almost the case of, and I don't know if you said anything about this yet, it could be Gandalf, but not Gandalf. It would be more Olorin. Yeah, it would be him when he was Olorin, so before he's sent there as Gandalf. And when he was sent as Gandalf, he kind of loses a lot of his memories. He has specific, like he's sent with a specific amount of his power and all that kind of stuff. So it wouldn't be the same person and the same character that we know as Gandalf, even though it would be Gandalf as Olorin. If that makes any sense to you, if you don't really understand what I'm on about. But check out the full story of Gandalf video if you really want to know about his backstory.
Yeah, it is told that he doesn't arrive until the Third Age, which is kind of everybody's argument against this, right? But the problem is he doesn't arrive in Middle-earth until the Third Age as Gandalf.
Yes, there's a lot of talk of Gandalf from the writings it seems more that he would hide himself, but still like to wander amongst the elves and the men and kind of learn about them. He pitied these people. He loved to get to know them. Like they weren't lesser beings to him. They were an interesting thing to really like study, I guess, might be a way of saying it. So there are people who think that he did wander Middle-earth before his time in a physical body. So he could well be there. I don't know why he would appear in a physical body now. That's the part that seems most wrong with it all. But technically, they could try and argue that's how they could make it work. Now, I don't really think that would be the right way to go about it. I really think that the potential they could do with other ideas would be way better.
I agree.
But I can kind of see the logic of why people are going in that direction.
So can I. There's obviously multiple hints. One of them, which is a quite interesting one, is this. The marking, the rune, the symbol that the stranger is scratching into the log in episode 2. Now, if you're not familiar, it's basically a mirrored image of what Gandalf scratches into the door on Bag End.
Yes, his symbol to say that, Gandalf was here. This is where you go. Which just the fact it's backwards kind of means it's not the same symbol. The way runes work, you can't do them backwards. No. Otherwise, they don't tell the same story. So I feel this is more of a coincidence, and I feel like that mark is a bit not quite close enough. I feel like if they were doing it, it needed to be more like accurate to what it should be.
I mean, forgive me, I'm not overly familiar with my runes and and the written language of Middle-earth.
You don't speak rune?
No. But yeah, I feel like it's backwards. And this probably has another meaning. I'm not sure if there are any Tolkien linguists out there that can identify this rune, or if it means anything. It could be something completely different. He could just be trying to draw something. I don't know for sure, but I don't think it's going to be anything to do with Gandalf. Again, I think people will link it, and I think the creators of the show, the showrunners, know that. So it's just another way of throwing us off the trail. I hope that's the case.
I think this will be a hint to the theory that I actually believe it is, which we will get onto in a little bit. So yeah, we'll kind of circle back to this point in a little bit and understand it a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I'm going to try and highlight a few comments as we're doing this, guys.
Yeah.
I just saw that. So the one here from Jar, maybe they will just call him Olorin. Can't imagine Amazon doesn't want the tie-in.
I mean, I get what you mean in terms of they want tie-ins, but at the same time, they're getting all this publicity right now for people putting the theory out there that it's Gandalf. So that's almost enough, if you know what I mean. Like that's putting the word out.
Where am I pointing?
There we go.
There he is.
Ah,
he's in the stream.
Yeah. So I just.
Oh, is this true? Sorry. Malarkey says the rune is GH. Probably should have done a bit more research before we went live about this. But yeah, if that's true, can that mean anything? I don't know. I don't think there's any relevance there. Gandalf was here. I don't know. Yeah.
Also, apologies if you can hear a rumble in the background. I'm hoping the mic's not picking it up. But the person who's going to use the gym is on the treadmill. which is quite loud and really inconvenient timing. But it is what it is. We have to work around things live.
Yeah.
Because live is difficult. But yeah, so
Alex Long says it shouldn't be Gandalf. No. I agree. It shouldn't be Gandalf. And again, I'll go back to it. I will be. Someone else has just turned up. Another person has just arrived. What are the chances?
Yeah. We picked this time because we thought it would be more quiet.
Yeah.
Turns out we are very wrong.
I got a feeling it's Owen. So someone may walk in the room in a minute. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Okay, let's get some more comments.
I saw something
about Newport County.
Yeah, someone mentioned Newport County then.
Yeah, okay, we'll address this first. Newport County for the win. George, are you from Newport? UTC.
Yeah. Up the county.
Anyway. So Ranger in the North says, maybe this doesn't mean anything, but if you remember Galadriel talking about Torch, that it's not... Oh, right, okay, yeah. Torch, that it's not hot because of evil. And Nori also said at the beginning of episode 2 that the fire is not hot. Maybe that's connected. Yeah, I did actually think that. That's a really good point.
And that kind of leads us on to another theory of who this being might be. So shall we move on from Gandalf?
Yes, we'll move on from Gandalf. There's some other hints with Gandalf, but again, let's move on.
So next one we come to. Go for it. Is this a balrog? Obviously not the massive fire demon. We're very clear it's not quite that yet.
Let's have our buddy here. No, he's not in shot.
Oh.
James can just hold him like a pet.
I will hold him.
So this is an interesting one. Obviously, he doesn't appear to be a big fiery demon.
No.
But again, it could make a good twist. When you're telling a story over 8 episodes in one season, and I guess a lot more than that over 5 seasons, there needs to be twists. There needs to be things that make us go, gasp.
Yes.
And I think making this stranger a balrog would be one of those. At the end of the day, balrogs are very similar to the Astari, to the wizards, right? They are corrupted Maya. They're essentially corrupted versions. So what's to say that this couldn't just be a corrupted Maya arriving on Earth and kind of eventually he changes his body, his life form on Earth to that of a fiery demon. Who knows? There are hints at this.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. I don't know how I would feel about this if it was the case. I feel like
I think I'd prefer this than Gandalf, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, I'd definitely prefer it to if they called him Gandalf. It would just be very interesting to see how they went about taking this man and actually making him into a big fiery demon.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a very unusual way to go about it. I feel like that people would definitely not predict it.
No, again, like was it the Ranger of the North a second ago said about the fire not being hot? That could be some kind of connection there. We know that the fire surrounding him on his arrival was not hot, and we also know that the fire in the opening with Galadriel was not hot due to the evil presence, which to me is a connection to the fact that perhaps he is of some kind of evil background, or he's there for an evil reason. We don't know for sure. But the other thing that hints at it is, of course, the scene here with the fireflies. Now, this was an interesting sequence. Nori and oh good god,
we did this land
Poppy, something like that. Anyway, they arrive to see the stranger, see what's going on, and they have these torches. They explain that the torches are lit up by fireflies, to which he kind of gets involved with some kind of star, what's the word, constellation map thing using the flies. And not long after, the flies essentially, well, die. It's unclear whether he has like absorbed their life force, their fire, whether he's used some kind of dark magic, or whether it was an uncontrolled magical something. We don't know. But it feels like these two things are in some way connected. And the fact that he is linked with fire, I don't know. It's a possibility for sure. Yes. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, James is still cuddling the Balrog like a child.
We're still talking about we're still talking about him. He stays here. He might stay here for the whole video now.
Who knows?
I'm in a comfortable position now. I just don't know if I want to move.
We need a fluffy one.
So yeah. So okay then. From that then, how strongly are you feeling about this actually being a Balrog?
Sorry, I'm just putting my hands up for John Smith. Who doesn't want Gandalf? Show of hands. I don't want Gandalf.
Yeah. How strongly are you feeling for this
for the Balrog?
Balrog possibility.
I'm feeling. I feel.
Honestly, I don't like it.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't put. If it's Gandalf, it would put me off the show. I'd be like, no, naughty Amazon. If it's a Balrog, I would kind of be like, okay, I get the idea. It's not what I would do, but I think it's possible. The only thing I wouldn't like is we know that the Balrogs were obviously involved with Morgoth's forces, and when Morgoth was defeated, the Balrogs essentially fled and hid underground.
They literally said to dig so far underground they couldn't be found. So to then appear in a meteor, which is in the sky, is just very...
No, I agree with that. And I don't think like this is going to be Durin's Bane. If that's the case, that would be ridiculous. That's almost... Well, that's not... It shouldn't be possible.
No, I feel like they've already hinted to dark things below Moria, so again, yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
What could be the case, though, is could he potentially be a different type of Maya that's being sent in the Second Age that we just don't know about? We know very little about the Second Age. Tolkien didn't actually write that much about the Second Age. People keep saying, oh, if they got the rights to Silmarillion, they could have put a lot more canonical stuff in there. But what people seem to forget is that the Silmarillion was like 90% First Age and previous.
Yes, there was such a small amount.
I actually put a pie chart on
our
story
yesterday. I can't think of the numbers off the top of my head, annoyingly. I swear it's only something like 8%, or at least a second or third age. Anyway, it wasn't an Instagram story. But yeah, it's so vague, and there's such long periods of times with nothing mentioned that it's almost what makes it more interesting. It's like we said before, we couldn't make these theory videos if we knew everything anyway.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to have these discussions. So, yeah, I very much don't believe it will be a Balrog, and I don't think I would like it being a Balrog. But again, I can understand why people are maybe going down that route.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else to add about the Balrog theory? What is that noise?
I don't know. Do I need to go check?
Yeah.
Again, live. It's great, isn't it?
You can see Balrogs in the background. Oh, that's gone. You can see Balrogs in the background of the episode 1 prologue. So I've seen a few people say this, and James and I went back to have a little look. I couldn't actually see it.
We have a wrestler.
Oh. You're joking.
The one... I won't say this off camera, sorry. Because this is just such a random thing. I feel like it just needs to be said. You know the guy who was practicing doing over-the-top rope flips? He's just turned up. So the noise we can now hear is going to be someone running around a wrestling ring, which is just outside our office, because that's how we work.
We will literally go... We were like, we'll go live at 3. It'll be quiet here. We'll have no interruptions. And now we've got someone running on a treadmill and someone running around a wrestling ring.
Yes. This is part of the reason why we went so long without live streaming, because these things happen a lot. But we'll work our way through it. Hopefully the mic doesn't pick up background noises too much, and it's actually a lot worse for us than for you. We'll see how it goes.
There's a comment here.
Let us know if it does get too much.
Comment here from Golrick 01. They don't have the rights to Silmarillion. They only have the rights to the dependencies of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. Yep, that's literally what we just said.
Yeah, but there's the thing. I feel like this is still a point that's neither been confirmed nor denied, and I don't think they ever really will. Is that they have been able to go to the Tolkien estate and go, okay, these little bits here, we want the rights to these, like these sentences.
Yeah.
And then they'll basically be able to go bit by bit and go, yes, you can have that. No, you cannot. So they will get the rights to bits of the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine it'll be much, and it will only be the kind of things that are really important to the story, not just for a bit of a side story. So I think it's their way of saying, like, maybe not to break law too much, but that's kind of maybe the ship was well gone. But yeah, we don't really know how it works, and I don't believe that's the thing they will ever disclose, because if they disclose the way that deal works, then people can pick it apart so much more.
No, I agree.
Whereas if it's a mystery, then you kind of go, oh, well, we couldn't do that bit, but we could do this, but we couldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much the Balrog theory covered. We'll have like a conclusion at the end. I guess we will talk about the likelihood of each. But let's move on to one that seems to be, I think, the most popular theory. Whenever I'm looking at comments in groups and forums, people are saying, like, why is this a discussion? It's very clearly Sauron. Now, I understand for sure why people are reading into this. This shot in particular, it's very clearly meant to look like the Eye of Sauron. Like, there's no way that anyone can argue that's not what they're going for there.
I mean, yes and no. It's a meteor that's landed and there's fire in a circle.
But it's the
yeah,
pattern.
no, I do see it. I understand why people are saying it. But again, I really hope it's not Sauron. I really, really hope they haven't gone that obvious in your face about, here's the main bad guy of the entire series in episode 1 landing like right like that. And it's because there's the little bits of like, one of the main reasons why I feel like it can't be Sauron is Sauron was so clueless about the hobbits.
Yeah.
And the race of the hobbits and stuff, and that's kind of why they were so useful, is because they were an unexpected surprise. So to have the first people he meets in this point be what will become later the hobbits, to me just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
unless there's a whole memory wipe deal that happens again, which is just not where we want to go.
I mean, let's list the reasons. Obviously, this shot, again, very, very clearly supposed to, in some way, tell us that that's the Eye of Sauron. There's no way they've done that on accident. No way. I don't think that's necessarily going, this is Sauron. I think maybe it's hinting at the fact he will eventually serve Sauron. The other thing is, and this one is a little bit damning, and I've read this again in many forums where people have suggested that it can't be anyone else because during his arrival, the soundtrack and the song that plays is titled Sauron. Even though that's titled Sauron, I think that it's probably just their bad guy music. And it works well as eerie, mysterious, doom is coming. Like that's more what I took from it than this is Sauron. I personally, this is another one of those. I think if it's Gandalf or if it's Sauron, it will bring down the quality of this show significantly, and I will be very unhappy and find it very hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yes, I didn't really know about the music thing. That's kind of a bit of a, I feel that's an awful way to give it away if that's actually the case.
Yeah.
Or if it's just a bit of a coincidence, maybe there's just a certain part of it that sounds similar and they've kind of, I don't really know.
It could just be that.
I need to listen to it again side by side and do that. But yeah, this is the other part of when Sauron appears in like human form, he's supposed to be fair and angelic, and no offense to the actor or nothing, like that's not what the stranger is.
No.
He's supposed to. There's just supposed to be something about him that's so like what's the word? Just like you believe him straight away. Like he puts you under his spell. He's enchanting. He's Sauron. I just can't see that being the case.
I'm not. Can I highlight?
And yeah. To be fair, there was a comment I lost it now. It said like, he said, I mean, yeah, of course the actor can scrub up well. Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible for him to look good or anything like that, but it's just one of those that I just find it a very hard to want to agree with thing.
I agree.
For it to be him.
I absolutely agree. Plus, he's already there. Sauron is literally shown in the prologue, right?
Yes.
So why? It doesn't make any sense. Nothing about that being Sauron would work for me. Nothing.
But also, though, if we believe all theories, I think we already have about 3 or 4 Saurons.
Yeah, true.
Because if
Halbrand is
Halbrand's
Sauron,
one, like he's hidden in the north somewhere as well.
I just saw a comment saying, "Isn't the blonde elf Sauron?" I'm not sure. I've got to highlight this comment though from Shadow Cloudsford. Dorian here. Hey, Jake and James. I was blown away by the dwarven scene, and I think it's one of the Blue Wizards. Would you add a reference section to the pros and cons video? References section. In what way? First of all, it's great to see you here, Dorian. We don't see you too often these days.
No, and I didn't recognize the name, so I would have missed that.
Yeah. What do you mean by a references section to the pros and cons? But yeah, I'm sure it's something we can do.
But yes, but Blue Wizards we will get onto in a minute.
Yes. Well, when Sauron took form as Anatar, that was a choice. He had the ability to transform into humans as well.
That's true.
He could literally shapeshift, which is an ability he doesn't lose until the end of this age. So
yes,
I'm assuming it's something we will see maybe in season 5 when they get to the drowning of Numenor. Spoilers. But yes, there's no reason he couldn't be one of the characters that we're already introduced to. And I think that that will be the case. Something that's quite interesting to talk about as well is how much do we really know about Sauron's shape-shifting ability? Does he just like, if I'm Sauron now, do I just go and I'm someone else?
I mean, in a way, yes. The best example I can think of off the top of my head is he's basically when Finrod and Beren die in his dungeons, and then Luthien comes in with Huan to come and save them. Sauron sends out Cleason, makes them a Draugr, his like great werewolf, to fight Huan, as well as other werewolves as well. And basically, Huan just defeats them all. Draugr kind of crawls back to Sauron in his castle and basically tells him, "Yeah, Huan's here. You might want to deal with this," and then he just dies at his feet. Then he basically transforms into a werewolf and goes to fight Huan. So at that point, it makes it just seem like he can go, okay, the form that would be good at this point, werewolf. That's great. He fights Huan. In that fight, Huan grabs him in the end by the neck and traps him so he can't escape at all. So he tries then to transform into a giant serpent, but he still can't escape. So again, it makes it sound like he could just go, werewolf not working, let's try a big ass snake.
Yeah.
And he does it that way. So I feel like, though it's never specifically like broken down, I feel like it is a case of he can just kind of think about it and he can just adjust his form as he wishes. I don't know how it works size-wise. Like, I don't know if he could decide to be a snake that's like that big or one that's bigger than this building, if that's a choice, or if it's because he is a large... Because obviously he can come down to the size of an elf, but also he's the massive, like, armored thing that we see in the prologue part. But I don't know if that's the same with all forms of it, or if it has to be a certain being that is that size.
So what I'm trying to get at with that question is, if it's already established that he can shapeshift instantly, then they can't say, well, when he changes form, this is how he has to almost re-arrive in Middle-earth. Like, they can't go down that route if it's already been established.
Yes.
So, again, there is no way in my book that they can make this Stranger being Sauron work. It just doesn't make sense. Other than the soundtrack and... Why isn't this working? Other than the soundtrack and the eye sort of image, I just don't see it happening at all.
Yeah. I mean, I would pretty like, at this point, of the three theories we've gone through so far, so Gandalf, Balrog, Sauron, I'm giving them big X. All of them.
Yeah, me too. I just don't see any of them working.
No.
Same, yeah.
At the end of the day, if they write this incredibly well and they make one of those work, while on him, but yeah, I'm on Sauron was wrong at this point, not right.
I agree.
Yes.
So we don't have this as one of our topics to talk about, but we could address this one from Big Red. Tom Bombadil, maybe. So we have our theories that we wanted to cover, but we said we would open it up to discussion. And Tom Bombadil is one that I have heard thrown around a little bit. No, I just, no.
No, an entrance of fire like that, for one, is no. 2, he's not singing, so no. And 3, where's the bright blue and yellow?
Yeah.
I don't care how he arrives. I don't care what happens. That's just how he looks.
And he's ancient as well, right?
Yeah, so he was basically before all of this. I mean, unless he travels by meteor, that's his version of a taxi. No, I mean, I would love to see Tom Bombadil in some kind of live action at some point.
Yeah.
But also, I don't understand how this would ever work.
I agree.
But also, if he breaks out in song one episode, I will know.
Picked Burst 720 says, would it ruin it for you guys if it's Sauron? Yes, it would.
Like I said, 99% yes. If they could somehow turn this around in some way, and I don't honestly know in my head how they could do that.
I just can't see a way.
I would have to say, yeah, basically it will ruin it. A lot of it mainly for the Harfoot part involved. We've actually had a super chat.
We've had a comment saying frozen video. Is everything okay now, guys? We have had a super chat. This one's from Joey Fouts. Thank you very much for the super chat. The writers don't know who the stranger is. This is bad robot corporate storytelling where they create mystery boxes. Same treatment as Star Wars with Who is Rey's parents. Love your channel. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm glad you enjoyed the channel.
And thank you for the super chat.
Yes. As for the writers not knowing, that's not the case.
No.
So,
at least publicly.
Yes. We do know that I'm pretty certain the writers have an outline for seasons 1 to 5 already. I'm also pretty certain that they have written full scripts for seasons 1, 2, and 3. So they are very far ahead in what they're doing. The whole idea here was, let's not do a Game of Thrones and mess up our last season. You know, the whole idea was, let's get ahead on this, have a full story before we begin telling it. So I get what you're saying, where they're going to introduce these mystery boxes and then try and solve them later on. But I'm 99.9% sure that's not the case here.
Yes, yeah, they have been very public with their thoughts of their statements of they know how the show's going to end. They know the last scenes, they know the last episodes, they know where they're going, they know all the bits in the middle.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of the things that made them win the bids and everything like that. Is it wasn't a case of we're going to start here, and then we're going to go that way, but we don't know how far. It was basically, no, this is how it's going to go. We're going to go down these routes. This is the story.
Yeah. That's our take on it. But thank you very much for the comment, Joey. Really, really appreciate it, especially the super chat.
Yeah, I mean, I very much hope they don't go for the who is raised parents route of how they tell a story.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, we will riot. It's fine. We can. We're not scared to. I just hope we don't have to.
Yeah. A few people have said that they agree with the super chat there, but honestly, that's some...
Yeah, it is one of those. Like,
we're pretty sure.
Publicly, they may be lying. We don't know that. But also, they're more likely to say nothing than claim they have done it. So that's why I'm kind of...
We have a comment here from Gary saying, your thoughts on Glorfindel? In general, cool character. As for him appearing in this series, I think he almost has to.
I mean, he returns to middle... well, this kind of goes on to the last possible theory that we're going through. That we're going to go to. So should we kind of...
We'll get there in a second, but we have another super chat.
Yeah, we'll just quickly do super chat, then we'll come back to this in a second.
This is from... Oh, the infamous Kiki.
Hey!
You guys are the best. Thank you so much, and thanks for tuning in to another one of our live streams.
Thank you very much. Okay, so with that, let's now proceed on to our last... Oh.
I also want to point out that our camera is currently shaking. That is... We're on a second floor, and that is a wrestler bouncing on the wrestling ropes outside our office. Wrestlers are big and rings are raised, and we should try editing for this. We made a mistake.
We did make a mistake. We just need to lock the doors when we go live and just nobody can come in.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, as we were going to get to, let's proceed on to our last theory.
Yes. Again, Kiki, thanks for the super chat.
Yes,
really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so with this last one, it kind of links into the whole Gandalf idea, but not quite Gandalf. So the last one is this a different wizard? Obviously, most people with that are going for the assumption that it would be one of the 5 Istari, which obviously consists of Gandalf, Saruman, Radagast, and the 2 blue wizards, which is the theory from day one I believe the stranger to be, and I am still holding to that theory now, and I feel like I'm going to hold to it no matter what facts go against it. Because in my head, I feel like this has to be one of the blue wizards. Yes, it completely breaks canon of how he's arrived, but I still feel like that's the way they're going to go.
I kind of agree with you. The blue wizards are obviously the wizards of the 5 Astari that we know the least about.
Yes.
So they have most creative freedom with their story. People will argue that none of the Astari arrive until the 3rd Age. However, this is one of the instances where Tolkien did contradict himself, and some people will, kind of pick one version or the other as canon. And I think anything that Tolkien wrote, you kind of can choose to believe as canon.
Yes, the main reason why, at least me personally, I believe you're the same, is I go with the blue wizards actually arrived in the 2nd Age, is that it is the last version of the events that he wrote. So,
and who do they arrive with?
Funny you should mention that. Words and stuff. They arrive with Glorfindel in the year, I believe, 1600-ish of the 2nd Age. Around there of the 2nd Age. But they should arrive by ship, funnily enough, with Glorfindel, and then they're around for a while, and then the rest of them, the Astari, come in the 3rd Age. So that part was never changed. It was just with the 2 blue wizards. But then really from that point, we don't know anything about them. But what we do kind of know is that they're supposed to wander a bit and then end up more in the east, and they were a bit more susceptible to the darker side of things. So realistically, they could be a bit more evil at heart, a bit more willing to dabble in the darkness. and basically try and fight the cults that would arise. Now, some say that they succeeded in doing this, and it's a massive reason why the wars were won in the Third Age is because they actually defeated a lot of the East from within earlier on. Or some say they actually fell to it and that everything in the East actually overpowered them. They couldn't defeat it, and they just completely failed their task and most likely were killed. Something fell over then. I jumped a mile. And I also completely wiped my train of thought now. So what was I even saying?
Something to do with evil wizards.
Yeah. So basically, my thought is, I feel like the idea of the fire being cold and linking it to the evil stuff could be linked with the Blue Wizards, because at this point, one of them has landed. Doesn't really remember where they are. Doesn't really remember their purpose, as is what is believed to be the case with the Astari when they arrive in their older bodies. And I kind of think that way it's that hint that this could be a more greyish character in the light and dark side as such. And I feel like it's also linking then you get the wizard, the Gandalf-like being, you get someone we don't know so we can learn more about them. I think a lot of it will come when we find out what their actual name is. Once they stop being the stranger and they give themselves a name, I feel like if it's one of the names that either of the Blue Wizards ever were known by or actually went by themselves, then we can go, okay, great. If it's something completely different that links to something else, great, we can go that way. Or if it's something completely made up, then we're just going to still be sat here going, it could be any.
I agree. I think with that said, we should delve into some comments and discuss some other theories. There's some interesting comments here. We have one from Armarillion777. I can't believe this is a debate. It's Sauron. I mean,
debates are good.
I'm assuming you've just tuned in because we just spent 10, 15 minutes covering the theory of it being Sauron. And I mean, we personally feel like it's impossible. Obviously, perhaps nothing is impossible with Amazon. We don't know. But it just makes zero sense. Plus, we already know that Sauron is there. They've already shown him. So, yeah, I just don't see that being the case.
Yes.
Does anybody have any other theories that haven't been covered?
Yeah.
I saw someone a minute ago suggest that perhaps it's the Witch King. Now, this is a theory that we haven't really talked about because, I mean, it's possible. He is in the appearance of a man, the form of a man, and all we know about the Nazgul is they are men of great power.
Yes.
They also have some kind of sorcerer abilities.
Yes.
So,
however, I'm going to very much argue against this right now, in that they were 9 rings given to men. Men can't survive traveling by meteor and crashing into the ground. And they were almost like, okay, they could have been kings of men or great men, but yeah, they weren't. I just can't see how that is that. Like, I can't link those together. Again, it would be a hell of a route to take to make this the Witch King. I feel more likely someone like Theo is going to end up down that way, which I also don't really think, but that's other rumors I've heard. But no, I would probably go against that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just playing devil's advocate. This is about theories, so it's interesting to discuss it. I do want to, in a separate video perhaps, talk about which characters could end up being Nazgul, because I think there's a couple out there already. Maybe Halbrand could end up being one of the Nazgul. Obviously, Theo could end up being one of the Nazgul. And I think that could be an interesting conversation in itself.
Yes.
There's an interesting theory here from Matthew. It's absolutely going to be Barleyman. You've nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, no,
Another one here. It might be Farmer Maggot.
Yeah, sure. I totally see the logic in that.
Santa Claus. We have some great theories here, guys. I'm digging it.
Would you be more sad if it was Barlaman or if it was Santa Claus?
So Jason has just put Gandalf. Gandalf was the first theory we covered in this video. So if you want to see our reasons why it's not, definitely go back and watch it. But no, I certainly do not think or hope that it's Gandalf.
I would actually bring up one more slight theory that links it to being one of the Astari. And now, we don't have the map up because I kind of had forgotten about this until just this moment. So I apologize.
Would you like me to get the map up?
You don't know which map I mean yet.
Okay.
So basically, when there's the shot of the meteors and people looking up seeing them,
Yeah.
I believe I saw a thing saying there were 5 shots.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And obviously there's the 5 Istari. So I saw a theory, and again, this is a bit of a stretch, that they were in fact not the same meteor. They were 5 separate meteors. So each one carrying one of the 5. So how it actually works is they say Gandalf was the last to arrive. That was my water. Gandalf was the last to arrive, and the last meteor we see to land is the stranger. So if they were in fact different ones than that, it could kind of go back to that Gandalf theory. Again, I think it was the same meteor, and it was just different people seeing it at different times. I don't think the geography of it didn't make sense, but I didn't really see that as a big
why would that
plot hole. It doesn't matter too much. Just while I remember it.
Well, we're getting a few comments here. Like Matthew has said, jokes aside, it could be a balrog. So for those of you that are throwing out suggestions here, whether it's balrog, Gandalf, Sauron, we have, in this 41-minute live stream so far, covered multiple theories, including Gandalf, balrog, Sauron, one of the blue wizards. Anything else? A corrupted Maya in general. Yep. So we have covered all these things already. So we're looking for different theories, guys.
Yes. And also just to say another reason why, although I think it might be a blue wizard, why I hate the fact it would be a blue wizard, apart from the arrival thing, is that they come together. So if they've separated them from the get-go, I'm not happy. Oh. Basically, at this point, I'm not really happy with any of these theories.
Yeah.
I want to be surprised in some way, but I don't know.
Jago Bridgeland says, surely it has to be a blue wizard. It can't be anyone else, or it would just piss too many people off.
To be honest, I don't know who it could be who it's not going to piss off at some way or another.
Like, they're in a lose-lose situation here. For me, I'm glad they've added this sort of content in where we are able to have these debates and theorize and speculate. That makes watching content like this fun, in my opinion. The problem they have is any character that they choose is not going to work for most people because it's not lore, right? We know that Gandalf, Sauron, Tom Bombadil, the Blue Wizards, Balrog, everyone that we've talked about, we know that this is not how they arrive in Middle-earth, so people will be upset by it. If it's a new character, people will be upset.
Yeah.
So I struggle to think of a solution to this that people will be pleased with.
Okay. How would you feel about if it was a Maya, but not one of the 5 Astari? Maybe not even a named one of any kind. Maybe if it's another one that was forgotten about.
Well, do we know of all the Maya?
No, not at all.
Exactly. So
it's a ridiculous amount that there are, and we know of. We barely scratched the surface of our knowledge of them, which is stated. So, in theory, they could plug one out of somewhere else and plop him down here in a meteor, and they wouldn't be breaking the law as such. I don't think it's ever stated that not one single Maya was sent before, like for definite fact. I think it's kind of like alluded to, and we kind of get the assumption that, when they send the 5, that's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
Or whether, well, I suppose, okay. So we know the 5 are sent. But that's the thing, is they are sent by the Valar. They're sent by the Valar because the Valar don't want to intervene themselves, because last time they came, they just basically sunk half the world. And then if we do that again, we're basically destroying all of Middle-earth. So instead, we'll send these 5 Astari over and have them try and, rouse the people, rouse the owls and the men and the dwarves, and make them win the battle for themselves, not us coming along and just, doing it for them.
Yeah.
What about if there's a Maya who's actually been, like Oliver was said to do, wandering amongst them, getting to know them, seeing all this going wrong, going, actually, no, you know what? Screw Eru. Screw the Valar. I'm going to go myself and make a difference. I believe...
Is that doable? Like, can they? Or do they need to be sent by the Valar?
Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head. But
I think
with things that they look like they may be doing for the show, like, for example, breaking the ban of the Valar and allowing Galadriel the chance to be in Valinor at this point, when she was very much not allowed, I don't see why they wouldn't also do that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying these are good ideas.
It's possible.
These are just theories.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
We've had another super chat. This one's from Christopher Carbau. The meteor scene was actually 2 meteors, and it's the Blue Wizards arriving together. Need to find each other and head east.
That's true. I kind of went from 5 or 1. It could be any number in the middle, actually.
Very, very true. It's a good suggestion. I saw somebody else. may have been John or sorry, someone pointed out how he's using those fireflies to look into the stars. Perhaps he's going, I was here. There was also a meteor here. Like, where are the others that I came with? Maybe that's what he's trying to point out.
Maybe they had a point of going, when we arrive, like you make a pact. So it's like if you're on a night out, you're like, okay, at this time we meet here, no matter what. So they've gone, when we get to Middle Earth, we meet at point A.
Yeah.
So he's going, okay, where's the stars? Where am I? So I need to get to here and meet him there.
Yeah, it's a strong theory.
Yeah, I mean, I could get on board with that.
So could I.
If, again, it goes without saying, if everything's written well and it all makes sense and it's not just in like, oh my God, there's another one, then yes, it could work. Yes. But I do like the way that could potentially go.
I've said that some of these theories, like if it's Gandalf, if it's Sauron, I will just abandon the show because it's so ridiculous. But I can accept some lore changes. Some. But it has to be done well. It has to make good TV. You know, like I can't accept changing things just for the sake of wanting to do something new and different. I can't get on board with that. But yeah, Christopher, that's a really great suggestion, and thank you very much for the super chat.
Thank you.
I've seen a few comments suggesting that we are ignoring people's comments.
Oh, sorry. It's with the software we're using now, they fly past. So it's kind of a case of
we're not. We've
once we've been talking for a minute, we lose loads. We're not ignoring any. We swear.
I'm not saying this for financial reasons, but the only chats that are highlighted to us that we will not miss are super chats. You can put like 99 cents, like it doesn't matter, but they highlight the chats to us so we don't miss them. So if you're getting annoyed at us for missing your comments, we do apologize. There's a few coming in now though. Sauron has no reason to enter Middle Earth by an obvious meteor when he's already there and can change his appearance at will. This is from Jansen Baker. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Yeah, well, yes, thank you. Sorry. But yes, that's a point that I very much believe goes against the Sauron idea as well. It doesn't make sense, and some of the other ideas I can kind of don't agree with. I can work my head around.
Yeah,
the Sauron one I just can't.
It's my least favorite.
Yes,
I again, like we said about Gandalf, we can work out ways that that's doable.
Yes,
you know, as long as they don't refer to him as Gandalf, he's basically a different form of Olorin, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah,
but the Sauron one, I can't see a way to make it work at all.
No.
So I absolutely agree with what you're saying there.
Yes.
And thank you for the super chat again.
We
did have another one. Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Jason Bornett, $2. Thank you so much. Zordon's son. Yeah. I like the cross reference there. I like it. James is like, what?
No, I'm the Captain America at this point. It's like, I don't get that reference.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
I'm going to guess Power Rangers.
Maybe. You have to watch the Sixth Ranger to find out. Thank you very much for the super chat.
What's the Sixth Ranger? Anyway, we make ourselves laugh.
We are so far behind. One from John. What's up, John? Hey. John's a friend of ours. If they read every comment, it would be impossible to read them all. There's over 400 people here. Yes. Exactly.
At this exact moment, we have 441 of you here. That's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for tuning in on. This is something actually I want to address quickly.
Okay.
We want to get a lot better at scheduling these streams. At the moment, it's very much of a case of the way our work weeks go that we have to kind of go, we can fit one in today, later on or something. Yeah. So we can only give like a couple of hours notice. We do want to try and make more of a schedule so we can be like, okay, every whatever day or whatever time, this is when we go live. So hopefully it makes it easier for people to actually tune in. But the fact over 400 people are here right now on such short notice, that's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in. Again, we're so far behind on comments that I'm just trying to pick ones at random, guys. One here.
Yeah. Could it be Radagast? I feel like it works the same way as Gandalf, really.
Yeah,
it's...
Oh.
Aha. Hey, it's us. It could be... I wouldn't agree with it at all.
No. Again, there are hints at... Well, theories, I should say. People saying it's Radagast because of the way... I know he's like holding the fireflies, but then... It seems like he cares about nature, but the dude just crashed in on a meteor and then killed a bunch of flies. And ate the snails. That's true. Not particularly very Radagast-y. Yeah. So no, I'm going to say no.
It's also hard because, like, if we just kind of think about the Hobbit films for a moment, and I apologize to some people.
Get out of my head.
I did very much not enjoy the portrayal of Radagast.
No.
So I would love the chance to get a better portrayal of him. This show is not the one to be doing it in. But, yeah, just as a side thought, I'd like a nicer portrayal of Radagast. Really?
I just want to point out, bear with me, I've got to show James a text I just had because it's really, really funny, and it's to do with our episode 1 breakdown. There was something, a little like Easter egg, if you will, that we put in there. Johnny, I'd really love it if you were in this live stream right now, seeing us read that. But yeah, if you can find that Easter egg in our episode 1 breakdown, you'll have to let us know.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Moving on from Radagast then, let's find a different comment. Where are we at? Where are we at? Ethereal Dragon says hi. Hi.
Hello there.
There's some silly comments. There's no point in addressing.
Yeah, please schedule that the next door wrestler. I'm guessing that means you can hear them quite well. Again, apologies for that.
Yeah, that's annoying. We need like better mics that cut out background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need someone who's an expert in using StreamYard as a thing, and kind of pick their brains on a couple of things.
So Zach Miller says, could it be one of the Blue Wizards? Again, we've covered all these theories: Gandalf, Sauron, Balrog, Blue Wizards, Radagast, Tom Bombadil. So no, you'd have to go back and watch the stream from the start.
Oh, someone's asking if we're blurry. Oh, sorry, we'll do the super chat first.
So Jonathan Orley, thank you very much for the comment and the super chat, and for turning up in the stream. We appreciate you. Could it be a Valar? It's a theory we haven't addressed yet. I suppose it could be. I wouldn't like it. I think if the Valar were to arrive, it kind of goes against pretty much everything. The whole thing with the Valar is they are trying their best to not intervene, right? Like Eru especially does not want to intervene, and the Valar are the same. Hence why they send the Astari, right? I would not like it if it was a Valar.
No,
I've seen a few comments. Is it Elmway? Is it Manway?
Yeah. Okay. One of my thought processes is they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion as such, and I feel like that's too much of a Okay, they can mention them in passing. So Durin mentions it's a task from Owley himself of the Smashing the Box.
Yeah.
Mind back completely on what they called it at this moment.
I think I'm pretty sure Disa says Owley's beard as well.
Yeah, so those kind of references I can get, and I feel like be okay. But I think if they show one, I think that's almost too much. And this may be a very cynical way of thinking about it, is they could sell the rights to the First Age separately. So I don't think they want to give away too much now. And I think the Valar is such a big part that would be expensive, just from a business point of view now. And I don't see how they would let a character who's been such a big part of it be one of those without the rights to the whole Silmarillion. Is kind of my thought process.
No, yeah,
that makes sense.
I think you're right there. Yeah.
So we can't rule it out. It could be one of the Valar, but I'm gonna put it in the piles of.
Yeah. Dwiz says, on a side note, I think Talion is the best original character. If it was Talion, that would be mad. But he's sent back, right, in the games? Pretty sure Talion is killed at the start of Shadow of Mordor and sent back. Anyway, we have another super chat. Let's get to that. Oh, wow. We are so far behind on these comments.
There we go.
There it is. So this is from Slack Teeth. Thank you very much for your comment and your super chat. The meteor is obviously Sauron's the Eye, and as the wizard's memory comes back, there will be a flashback battle where Sauron casts him away. So you're suggesting that it's a wizard, as in one of the 5?
No, you're saying the meteor is obviously Sauron. Wait, yeah, no, sorry.
So you're saying it's Sauron's meteor because of the Eye? That would make sense.
But then who is the wizard whose memory is coming back?
Maybe it's someone new. I like the theory that the meteor is sent by Sauron. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, being sent by and not being inside of himself.
But also, how would he do that? Is he shooting it out of Mount Doom or something?
There is one or two vague references to meteors in the writings.
There is, but I don't think
that's only ever done in terms of it lands and there's the material, the black ore that Aeol, the Dark Elves, crafts his swords out of Girthan? Oh my god, my mind's gone blank.
It doesn't matter, but yeah, they have meteoric steel essentially. So
why can I not think of this?
It's not important. So they do exist, but how Sauron would send it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And that's through, I mean, this is a magical world. There's a lot of things that we don't need to understand how they work. It's just magic.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that Tolkien did a good job with his writings, is the magic system in Middle-earth, we don't know a lot about. And it keeps it mysterious, and magic is mysterious, so that works for me. But yeah, I think it's certainly an interesting idea, and it perhaps is another good way of bringing Sauron into it through a flashback of this stranger being like, oh, I'm starting to remember. This guy sent me here. He looked like this. We did this. And then I got, yeah. I mean, it could work. It could work. Interesting suggestion. Thank you very much. Oh, we had another super chat. This is from Josh Agamemnon. I am so sorry. It couldn't be Manwë at all. No.
Yeah, kind of from what we went over before, I feel like, again, it's one of those things I've really struggled to get on board with.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of without just going over exactly what we said before with any of that. I just don't feel like it could be.
No, I don't think so.
No.
But thank you very much for the comment and the suggestion. Ada Unal says, I guess he will be J.J. Abrams' like mystery box thing that going to be kept as a mystery. One episode, hints of good, one episode, hints of evil, going on through episodes. Yeah, probably. It's not a J.J. Abrams thing in the sense of they don't know where they're going with it. They definitely have an answer to who this character is, and they have a story for him. But yeah, they probably will treat it.
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
it's going to be a case we won't have any real clue until the finale of episode 1, of season 1. Sorry. So I would be shocked if we really get a solid idea before then. And even then, I'm not even sure if it will be that soon. It kind of depends how quickly they go with the story at this point. But it's something with only the first 2 episodes we don't know yet.
Yeah. Skysby says, could it be Isildur? No, it could not.
Yeah, that one we can rule out.
Yeah, that's 100% no. There he is. It already will be in Numenor, and I'm pretty sure we'll probably meet him in 3 days when episode 3 comes out.
Yes.
There's no way that's Isildur. But again, thank you for the comment.
Which, by the way, we are going to be doing a watch party at the time of release, which here in the UK is like 5 a.m. Not sure the exact time for everywhere in the world.
Here's what I found.
Be quiet, watch. Oh dear. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, if anyone wants to tune in for us for a watch party and have a little chat about the episode afterwards, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Again, we'll get that scheduled so you actually know the exact time.
And it will literally be a live reaction. So
yes.
For those of you that are saying we're pretending to enjoy the show, you can see our genuine live reactions. We do have another super chat, but there's a comment here that I've highlighted from Liam Phillips, and it's a really great question. What would you be happy with the stranger being?
Happiest? Probably with a blue wizard.
Yeah?
But also not happy. So happiest. It's one of those that I feel like that my happiest solution to this is me having no idea, in a way.
Yeah.
Is I don't want to be able to guess every part of it. I want it to be a surprise, and I want the reveal to be a good one. So if we could predict that after 2 episodes, I don't think I would be happy, if that makes sense. Like, I want that mystery. I want the build-up. I want the clues. Throw me over here, then throw me over there, and not knowing what's going to happen. So,
I agree.
Yeah, I'm happiest with something that I don't guess, but also something that isn't a slap in the face.
Yeah. For me, I think I'd be happiest if it's a new character of not too much importance. I think if they add it as a character we already know, it's just... we're going to judge everything, right? And Middle-earth is a big place. The Second Age is over a very, very long period of time. And there's no way Tolkien wrote about all those people. So there's absolutely... Amazon have every right to introduce new characters. However, we know that if anyone was super important within the history of Middle-earth, that Tolkien would have wrote about them. So it's a tough one.
Yes.
Who would you guys be happy with? Thanks for the comment, Liam. Right, let's get to these super chats. We have one from Christopher. I think this is the second super chat from Christopher. Thank you very much. I think the show revealing it was 2 meteors all along, and it is the Blue Wizards is best theory. The first season is them finding each other and then heading east, leading into season 2. I think that's a really strong theory. I have to be honest.
Yeah, that's the one I can get most on board with.
Yeah.
Like we've always said, obviously we've probably mentioned it in live streams, but just in general, we're chatting with each other. Like, we would love to see the Blue Wizards on screen.
Oh, yes.
They're 2 characters that there is so much mystery around.
And we are the 2 Blue Wizards.
Yeah.
Just saying. We almost called our channel something to do with them.
Yeah.
We're both Chelsea fans, by the way. So It made sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I would absolutely love it, and if they do it well and do it right, I can forgive the entrance of how they got there.
I saw someone earlier saying that for the Astari in general, arriving in Middle Earth on a meteor is way cooler than arriving on a boat.
It is cool.
I get.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
It is that's a very much. The only thing is, well, I guess, okay, just to go wise bad idea, just for a moment, is to say the point of the Astari though is they were sent to not be like, hey, look at me, let's lead everyone, myself at the front. Like they couldn't really show their true power, and arriving by meteor is not exactly a subtle way to arrive, which is kind of more what they should have been like.
I agree, but on the flip side of that, look at where it's arrived. It's arrived near a land where the Harfoots are.
Yes.
The Harfoots have shown from episode 1 that they are very hidden. So perhaps...
But then it flew over everywhere that's not hidden.
Yes, but most of the people have just gone, ooh, a meteor. They have no idea what it is. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really, really strong theory.
Yeah. For
sure. And we very much appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Again, we've got one from John January. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's Matt Tuck from Bullet for My Valentine searching for his twin, Jake.
Oh, where's our photo of Matt Tuck ready to put up right now?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you took the backwards hat off me and Matt Tuck and just looked at my hair and his hair, there wouldn't be too much of a resemblance. But I have looked at some pictures of him with a backwards hat on and gone, oh, yeah. But he's a handsome man and he's Welsh, so I appreciate it. We have another super chat. This one, I think it is from Martin, I can tell by the currency. Thank you very much, Martin. Gollum says orc meat does not taste good to Shelob. My guess is that Nazgul meat would taste even worse. Would there be Nazgul meat?
I was going to say, I would question where this Nazgul meat is at all.
Yeah.
They kind of have no real body if uncloaked.
Interesting comment, though. I mean, the clothes hang on something.
True.
There is some kind of
spirit meat.
Yeah.
I mean, is that like the new vegan? my food just doesn't exist anymore.
I'm a spirit gun. Martin, that was a super interesting comment. I love it. I really love it. Thank you very much for the super chat, as always, my friend. Oh, was that another one? Nope, that's the same one.
Just jumped. Although, sorry, go up a second. Keep going.
Oh, wait, let's address this. It could be. It wouldn't surprise me.
If it was, everyone would already be dead.
Where am I going?
I've lost it. Sorry,
I saw a great comment a second ago. This one.
No.
From Alice D. Generally, do we believe it's a good or an evil character? Again, great question. I believe it's an evil character, perhaps sent to do something evil, but has a good nature. Or maybe it's kind of like a Sauron, like really a morally grey area. I don't know. This is why I like this storyline though, because I don't know.
Yeah, I would go grey because
that wasn't an option.
It is now. No, the reason I would say this is because generally, there's the whole thing with the fire, for one. There's the whole idea of Gil-galad picking up that leaf and it starts turning black, which I don't necessarily believe is directly related to the meteor. I believe it's a general, the world is changing kind of thing. But there's that. But I believe in the end, due to where the stranger landed, they will end up being good. So
that's where the Harfoots come in.
Yeah, so in that, I'll go grey. Somewhere in the middle. I think we'll have good and bad moments of that character, like light and evil moments.
Yeah.
They'll kind of just be, I think in the end, good, but I think there'll be a struggle along the way.
So there's an interesting comment here from Jar Kai1. Blue Wizards do nothing for the target audience. The target audience has no idea they even exist.
Yes, but
the general public. But I feel like if you know a little bit about, like, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan and you like to have a little bit of book knowledge, everyone tends to know that there is Blue Wizards.
Yes, and I think one of the main things is, like, people have said about putting Gandalf in the show because they want Gandalf. Well, not saying this is the right way to go about the characters, but if they take a Blue Wizard, they can basically introduce a Gandalf who looks very much like Gandalf, but it not be Gandalf. So someone who looks at it who doesn't know can go look at that and go, oh, it's the wizard. Yeah, I know that. I can kind of, I can link that. But then they go into it and they go, oh, this is actually a different character or whatever. Or if they really don't know, they might not even realize. But that's a different point entirely. So I think having the wizard just kind of makes that target audience work without worrying too much.
Yeah, we're getting lots of comments saying things like it's Gandalf for sure, it's Sauron for sure. Again, guys, if you go back in the stream, we've covered all these theories in detail. So yeah, it's not.
It's Sauron's brother Jeff.
So there's one here. Could it be the mouth of Sauron? No. This is similar to Isildur. So the mouth of Sauron is essentially a corrupted black Numenorian. So chances are he will already be in Numenor somewhere.
Actually, it's Count Dooku directly after he left the Jedi Order. I mean,
that would be
a
weird.
crossover.
Yeah,
that would be a crossover nobody expected.
That's Saruman.
Okay, how are we doing for time, by the way?
An
hour 6.
Hour 6. We've got maybe we can go till 4:30. 23 more minutes. Well, I'm enjoying this discussion. Are you not? Are you guys enjoying this discussion? We've still got over 400 people in here, so let's keep this conversation going. Has anyone mentioned the Balrog theory? Yes, actually. Yeah, we did an entire section on the Balrog, you see?
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and rewatch the stream.
Yes.
Where was I? I'm just going to reiterate, guys, that again, these comments come in quick and we can't see them all. We're just picking ones that we spot at random. The only comments highlighted are super chats. I'm not saying it for money reasons. It's just facts. Ranger of the North says, could it just be an original character sent by Sauron?
Okay. Sorry, just to pause you for one moment. I'm going to leave you to answer this because I'm going to need the toilet if we're going for another 20-something minutes. So, enjoy the company of Jake.
Spoiling you guys. He's been alone with me twice now. Could it be another original character sent by Sauron? It could. We did cover this earlier. The problem is, does Sauron have the ability to send meteors? Like, yes, meteors exist within Middle-earth. We know that. That's in the writings. But does he have that power? He could. I mean, again, going back to the fact that this is a magical universe. So, and it's a magical universe with a magical system isn't very, isn't explained in a lot of detail. So there are certainly opportunities there to have some creative freedom on what exactly Sauron's powers consist of. So yeah, it could be an original character sent by Sauron. Interesting comment here from Jordan. No need to make a new character. The Blue Wizards are unknown and deserve more depth. So great point. I would probably agree with that. And as myself and James said earlier, we would very much like to see the Blue Wizard story explained. And Tolkien did correct himself and say that the Blue Wizards actually arrived in the Second Age with Glorfindel. So it could happen. Only problem is we're seeing one of them arrive alone. So whether that goes against the law, who knows? It certainly could be the case, though. Most people who I know have no idea besides the movies 20 years ago. Yeah, that's very much going to be the case for the majority. Oh, he's back. For the majority of the audience here, people will be familiar with the films, but not with the books. Sadly, it seems to be the people that have read the books that have the most hate towards this show.
Yes. I'm just going to tag along to the end of that. Yes, sure.
Alatar or Palando. Yeah, again, going back to the Blue Wizards theory, we've talked about the blue reasons.
The blue reasons?
The Blue Wizards a lot here.
Could it be Roman Abramovich looking for a new career?
It could be.
Sure. Why not?
This is an interesting one here from John. Could it be that Sauron has spread himself across multiple entities and he's trying to find all the other pieces using the stars, kind of like Voldemort and the Horcruxes? That's an interesting theory. Like, if this was original writings, I could definitely take that theory on board. But being inspired by Tolkien, I just don't see it being the case.
No, I don't believe Sauron can spread himself across multiple entities.
I mean, we know he can pour himself into inanimate objects, so I wouldn't put it past it, but very, very unlikely, that's for sure. But interesting theory, and I'm all about hearing these different theories. We have a few more super chats. Oh. What's this one?
Oh, there's no question with this one, so thank you, Tony, very much.
Yeah, really appreciate that.
If you have a question, please include it.
Yeah. Another one from Martin. How do you think Galadriel is intended to deal with Sauron in the show if she finds him? It would seem she would be overmatched and would need help. Yes. So I think the idea here is she's obviously going to end up in Numenor. Sauron will at some point either reveal himself or be discovered. Not sure how they're going to go about it, but I think it'll be, or maybe even the beginnings of the Last Alliance.
Yeah.
I think maybe she will be like, Elrond, my friend. But even though, so Elrond is, no, Galadriel is Elrond's mother-in-law. Galadriel is Elrond's mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But in this, they're just friends so far.
Yeah.
Right. 1 second. Someone else has just turned up. You carry on talking.
Okay. So, as you're halfway through now, so I've kind of gone mind blank now. So I think I should tend to deal with Sauron in the show if she finds him. I'm not sure if it's more of a case of like, I don't know if she feels like she could fight him directly, but spoilers, I guess, if you don't know how the Second Age ends with the Last Alliance, Sauron is brought down with Gil-galad and Elendil fighting him. So, I don't rule out the possibility that she thinks she could best him in one-on-one combat. Don't know if that is really the way it would go.
I am going to point out and interrupt you, because this is important, that 6 wrestlers have just turned up.
Okay, so we may need to round this up quickly, because that will be unbearable, I'm not going to lie.
Let's give this 5 minutes, guys, because there's about to be a professional wrestling class going on just outside the door.
So, as for Galadriel, she might believe she could take him on one-on-one, or with an army at her back or whatever. But as this is a slightly different Galadriel to the one that we know, it is hard to really judge. Okay, so last couple of minutes now. So get your questions in.
If you've got questions, guys, again, super chats are the only ones that we see all of, and they are flying in. So, the Heyman98, thank you so much for your comment and your super chat.
Hey,
is it possible for a Maiar not to know all the languages of Middle Earth, and can an evil being lesser than Sauron speak Quenya?
What for to know all the languages of Middle Earth?
Great question.
I think it is possible that they don't know all the languages of Middle Earth. I mean, whether they knew them at one point and forgot them. I mean, Gandalf forgets like
a lot of stuff
over time. Most likely they knew them at one point or another. Although I think the language of the dwarves might be a bit of a sketchy one.
Yeah.
Because they do keep it all very secretive. But I think if it's written down anywhere, they would very much learn.
And as for an evil being lesser than Sauron speaking Quenya, I don't believe we know of any outside of the elven race that could speak Quenya.
That's a very good question.
It is.
I don't believe so.
I'd assume like Eol the Dark Elf, for example, perhaps.
Yeah.
A great question. So John says, Jake and James versus 6 wrestlers. What shall the outcome be? If it's one at a time, I'm betting on me and James, because I mean, me. they pretend to fight. Shh. Very, very impressive stuff. Thanks for all the videos. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for all joining in with this. We still got over 350 people here.
Priscilla TV says, my husband is a blue belt and is counting the years to get the black belt. Poor guy's obsessed. So is everyone that does jiu-jitsu. If you're UK based, this is where you want to come and train. Flawless Combat Club.
Okay, so let's do one more then, and then they are very much.
T-Box says, keep up the great stream, guys. Sorry, got that backwards. Keep up the great stream, guys. I got that wrong. Great stream, guys. Keep up the good work. It's definitely coming to the time to end this stream. Make sure they don't hear that. Yeah. Come on, guys. Give us what we're going to do. One more question. Who wants it? Who wants it? I can hear grunts out there already.
Yeah, another person saying about the music sign showing it towards Sauron, where he arrives. Again, I hope that's just. I hope that ends up being a coincidence for some other track.
Yeah.
But I really need to listen back to see how prominent that is.
I'm pretty sure it's the same. I think it's the exact same.
Okay.
The last question then goes to Martin, who has sent in his super chat. I know Gil-galad and Elendil took down at the end of the Second Age. I assume you mean took down Sauron. Yeah. But they were 2, had legendary weapons, and asked themselves and killed themselves in the process. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
took down Sauron?
Yes. Not really a question.
But yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That is the case, though. Yes. So both Gil-galad and Elendil perished in their battle with Sauron.
Yeah, this is okay. There's one last thing we'll finish on, then, which is quite interesting, which goes against the idea of Sauron and the fire thing in a way. Is that the way that Gil-galad dies is he dies from being burned from the heat of Sauron's hand when he grabs him.
Yes.
So the idea then that Sauron's fire doesn't let off heat. Okay, there's a fortress and everything, that's something exactly. But if it's Sauron himself there, I feel like that doesn't link together.
True.
So, one more argument against.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because the more reasons we can give for the stranger not being Sauron, the better. Because that's my least favorite of all the theories. I could get on board with Gandalf, not Gandalf, Alorin. I could get on board with a Balrog, if it's written well. The Blue Wizards I could get on board with. Sauron, just no.
Yes.
No. That's how I feel about that.
Okay.
Also, thank you for the super chat, Martin.
Yes.
Oh, we've just had another super chat. We definitely won't ignore. Oh, that's not it.
Okay. Let's do this one quick before they start.
What if the stranger is a prototype wizard? Since not knowing him, he goes away and will be replaced by Ian McKellen, who does the job. This again is from Tony. Thank you very much for the super chat, Tony. It's a really interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, I get the joke in there as well. But like we kind of mentioned, whether it could be possibly a Maya that's not one that we already know of. It is possible. You can't rule it out.
Yeah. I think, yeah. As long as they don't do it, like I said earlier, as long as they don't do anything too important that would be kind of recorded in the history of Middle Earth, then it's fine.
Yeah.
If it's just there as a prototype, and then I guess they'll go, okay, this kind of works. Little adjustments, and the Maya can.
This is the beta test of our wizards.
Yeah.
They've been like, they go, how much power can we give them when we send them?
Yeah.
Let's put him at like 20% and see how this goes.
Yeah.
Don't really know how that power works.
No, I could get on board with it. That would be okay. Thank you very much for the super chat once again, Tony. Really appreciate it. Okay, guys, that's all the time we have.
Yes.
Unless you want to be listening to wrestlers and have our camera shaking all the way through. But like we said, if you guys, which I think you do, are enjoying this new live stream format, because we certainly are, I am loving it. We are definitely up for doing more. I think weekly ones, at least. I mean, for the next 6 weeks, we will be doing watch parties, hopefully.
Yes.
So please, hopefully we'll schedule that today.
Yes.
For Friday, 5 a.m. British Standard Time. So yeah, we'll do a live watch party for that.
Yep.
And then maybe we'll live stream some theories like this going forward. Who knows? Again, thank you all so much for tuning in and interacting with us. This has been great. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you very much for your super chats. The support goes such a long way in helping us, again, fund our short film. That's pretty much it.
I think so.
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time on The Broken Sword.